Have you ever tried to get someone to do something, but they just wouldn't listen? Have you realized that toxic individuals use this technique? I'm going to explore this in this video today, and you can understand the psychology behind it and how it is used against you. Once you understand this, you can see right through this and know when you are being played. Watch this video. Hello everyone and welcome back. I hope that you're all doing really well. So today we're going to be discussing the interesting topic of reverse psychology. A lot of you will probably wonder, what the hell does reverse psychology actually mean? But today we're going to be talking and diving into the wonderful world, or the intriguing world, of reverse psychology. It's a powerful tool that, when used correctly, can influence behavior in surprising ways. So let's get started. But listen, my friends, just before we get into the video, I just want to say that I do go live on this channel at the end of the month on a Tuesday. I would encourage you to most probably join the channel, put the bell button on, and check on the community tab, because that's where I post when I'm going to be going live. But honestly, if you look back on the playlist, you will see that these live streams are a vibe and they are so much fun. And I know that a lot of you subscribers, I know that you've got a lot of value from them. So I do feel like it is something that, if you do have a question or there's something on your mind, I'd say come on over. We could be answering your question, or we could be working through or dealing with something that you're going through. And also there is great peer support and a community feel within these live streams. Love to see you there. Okay, so let's look at what reverse psychology actually means. So reverse psychology is a technique where you encourage someone to do the opposite of what you actually want them to do. It sounds counterintuitive, but it plays a natural human tendency to start to assert independence and resist control. So you're going to be doing the opposite. Okay, when someone is telling you something. So this is about you understanding that what this person is doing is manipulative. All right. And before we dive into how to use reverse psychology effectively, it's important to understand when and why it works. People, okay, especially children and those with a rebellious streak, often resist direct commands. By suggesting the opposite, you can trigger their desire to assert the autonomy and choose the option you actually wanted all along. So I'm using this as a positive example of when you're going to want to use reverse psychology. Okay, and I completely understand it. This is where and it's a human need. It's a human way to assert that you actually made the right decision. I know this, actually. It was my friend who was telling me. And I know this line has been used in a movie, in The Big Fat Greek Wedding. And this is exactly a real life example. And I don't know whether this is something in the Greek culture or maybe, in the Balkan culture, but it's where women, the wives, always kind of make suggestions to their husbands. Their husbands will then think, okay, this is how this has happened. Then they will think that they are the ones that have come up with that idea. And that's kind of like where reverse psychology would come into play, where the wife would make a suggestion and the husband would then think, she would make a subtle suggestion and the husband would think that they came up with the idea all along. Meanwhile, the wife is the neck and the husband is the head, but it's the neck that keeps the support and shows the head how to turn. I hope I've used that example correctly, but you know what I mean? Like, it's more about how, you're using these subtle hints, these subtle techniques in order to achieve what it is that you want. Okay, so I'm going to look at the steps here on how to use reverse psychology effectively. Okay, so what you've got to understand is the person that you want to use this on, or understands your audience. Okay, so reverse psychology works best on people who are naturally rebellious or dislike being told what to do. So you could actually use this on a narcissist, on a toxic person. You could use this on a child, for example. Or if you know someone who tends to do the opposite of what they're actually told, then this technique will actually really work best on that person. The thing is, what you got to do is you've got to make a contradictory statement. That's how this will work. Instead of directly asking them to do something, suggest the opposite. This will spark curiosity and a desire to prove you wrong. So a child, possibly an adolescent, possibly, but with a narcissist, with someone who is toxic, they are someone that don't like being told what to do, and they will never conform. They will never do what it is that you are asking them directly to do. So if you think about it, if you're asking them to do the opposite, now you need to be very careful if you are asking the narcissist to do this, because look, you know what? You don't want anything untoward to happen, because when a narcissist realizes that they are being had or something is being done to them, they will be very irritated. They will want to punish. They will not like the fact that this is what is happening. So what you have to remember is that a narcissist will indeed try to prove you wrong, will try to be rebellious and rude. So for example, let's give an example. Let's say to someone, you made dinner, you spent a long time doing it, and you know that this person doesn't really like what you have made, but it's healthy, it's good. And you say to them, for example, you know what? I know I made this dinner, but you don't have to eat these vegetables. I know you don't really like them. You're going to get one or two responses. You're going to get either someone who is going to say, yeah, okay, great, I'm not going to eat the vegetables. Or you'll get someone that will just eat the vegetables to spite you. I know that is one example. I know, but it's just so that you can see that actually when you suggest the contradictory statement, that person is more likely to do the opposite. When you are making these suggestions or statements, you have to keep it casual. Your suggestion should seem offhand and not overtly manipulative. Because if there is a strain, if there is an uncertainty, if there is your voice sounds irritated, it's not going to come off. It's almost as though it's something that you've just thought of, you've just said, it's just come about. If it sounds too forced, someone might catch on to your strategy. And I think a lot of us, when a narcissist is doing that to us, I think a lot of us actually do. We do catch on to what they are trying to do. We do catch on and see through the facade because they've done it once too many times. They do this and we see through it. So if you're going to do this, if you're going to, especially against a narcissist, remember that they are always wanting to be one step ahead. So be aware that the narcissist may catch on to this because it's not how you normally would be. It could be strained. It could be forced. They might be thinking, why is this person being nice to me? They will question everything because remember, they know you. They know your facial expressions. They know your body language. And this is the issue. It has to come across as being offhand, like you've just made it up. Basically, relax into it. Be comfortable. You have to be prepared for any outcome. Meaning you don't control the outcome. Because where the narcissist goes wrong is the fact that they actually do control the outcome. They want something to happen in a certain way. But this is about you not controlling, being prepared that there might be any type of result in this. So we've just got to know that sometimes reverse psychology actually doesn't work and the person might not do what you suggested. So that's okay. It's all right. And be ready to accept this possibility. And you have to have a backup plan if necessary. Using reverse psychology on people is very strenuous. It's very energy consuming. And actually, it takes a lot of effort to actually do that. So be aware. Pick your battles wisely. Be aware how and when you want to use them. I wouldn't suggest using this against a narcissist because it's just, do you really want to put that much energy and effort and time into proving someone wrong or proving something about someone? So just be aware that this does take a lot of energy and can be quite strenuous. Okay, so now let's look at some scenarios where reverse psychology could be particularly helpful. Scenario 1. There's a teenager who refuses to study. You might say, it's okay, if you don't want to study now, it might be too difficult later for you anyway. This might motivate them to prove that they can handle it. Scenario 2. A partner is reluctant to try a new activity. You could say, you might not enjoy this new class, so maybe it's not worth trying. This could be their peak of interest and encourage them to try it anyway. Scenario 3, a child refusing to eat healthy food. You could say, you probably won't like this broccoli, so you don't have to eat it. And the child might become curious and want to actually eat that broccoli. Reverse psychology is a subtle art that requires practice and actually confidence in yourself. It's about practicing to get the best possible outcome. This isn't about manipulating others. We're not using these techniques to be a narcissist. Of course we're not. But it's about understanding human nature and guiding behavior into a positive direction. I use these examples and I wanted to talk about this subject because this is exactly what the narcissist does. And I wanted for you to be able to identify and see that actually, even though they do this, you can see through. You can see that what they are doing. Remember, with a narcissist, there's always an agenda. But using reverse psychologies in some of the scenarios that I've suggested earlier can really help you, particularly within a family or a friend or in a friendship setting. This will really help you to get the best possible outcome that you perhaps wanted. Remember to use reverse psychology wisely and ethically. Remember, if you're doing things to get a rise out of someone, they can always backfire and it can be a disastrous effect onto you. Reverse psychology works best when it's used to encourage positive behavior from others. If you are someone that wants to know more about this or going through any of the tactics that I talked about, please know that I do offer one-to-one consultations. Please see the description box below. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and please do consider subscribing to the channel. I would really love that, and please also share it to someone. Maybe it might be helpful to someone else who might be going through this or using these techniques, perhaps maybe on their children. But thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.